Hello and welcome back to another video on the WrestleMania and to another edition of Raw out of 10. And yeah, WrestleMania firmly in the box now, but it's the typical thing after WrestleMania. We're still seeing quite a lot of rematches from the show, and we're now approaching Backlash, or as it's now known, WrestleMania Backlash. And so yeah, we're still building up to that pay-per-view, so let's get straight into it. And Seth Rollins kicked off Raw and invited Cody out to join him. Rollins told Rhodes that he spent so much time trying to make it in WWE, but he needed one match with the Architect to put him on the map. Rollins says that he was questioning his abilities after losing to Rhodes at WrestleMania and was struggling with the fact that the latter may be better to him. Rollins challenged Rhodes to a match against a mystery opponent of the Architect's choosing. Cody Rhodes agreed and secured his spot in the main event of Raw as the show moved on. Just building on the feud, really. It's still a few weeks away WrestleMania Backlash, so for this week, still good to get Cody on telly having matches, so that's all it was really. Before we got Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley for the women's tag titles. Rhea and Sasha kicked off the match and Banks was isolated in the ring early on. Liv Morgan was in the ring and Banks managed to tag Naomi for a big double team move, followed by a crossbody for a near fall. Banks was dragged outside by Ripley, who hit her with a riptide on the barricades. Ripley then got a face buster off a botched double team move before Morgan hit a powerbomb on Naomi. Ripley then followed up with a riptide and Sasha Banks broke the pin. Banks and Naomi then got a double team finisher on Ripley before Naomi hit the full Wilson and the boss hit the jackknife to get the win. After the match, Morgan and Ripley were having an argument about what caused the loss. Morgan was about to walk out when Ripley attacked her from behind, hitting a riptide. This is good for me. It goes 6 out of 10 from me because it's rematches over and over again. No one likes to see that, but at least it's had some meaning. And Ripley as a heel could really work now, and I'm praying to start with a big push for Ripley because her main roster run so far has been pretty underwhelming. But yeah, this gets 6 out of 10. Next out was Sonya Deville and said that she was forced to take up the WWE official spot in hopes of someday making a return to wrestling. She felt that this was a big opportunity and wanted to face Bianca Belair, who she claims is the best for the women's title. Belair then walked out and Deville taunted her and got in her face before the former lifted her into the KOD position. Deville threatened to fire Belair before she let the WWE official down and walked out. This was okay. Just another week's build, similar to the Cody and Seth stuff. Thought it was fine. Deville kind of using her power. I'm kind of tired of that angle. We've seen it so much in wrestling. Before we got Veer Mahan versus a local competitor, Jeff Brooks. Mahan was back after sending Dominic to hospital last week and was dominating his opponent, tossing him around early on, tackling him with a huge $1 million arm area, and picked up the win with a cervical clutch. Mahan refused to get that go of the hold after the bell ran, and a group of officials had to separate the two. And they actually haven't dropped the ball on Veer yet, which is, fair play to them. On the whole, this gets a 6 out of 10. It was just a simple squash match, really. Before backstage, Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce asked if he planned to fire Bianca Belair for attacking her. Pearce revealed that he had indeed fined Belair, but it was a fine of only $1. Just teasing attention. Deville was furious and blamed Pearce for misusing his powers before the latter told her that her conduct as a WWE official was being investigated by upper management. It's just the whole storyline, authority storyline stuff. We've seen it all before. Kevin Owens was out next and brought Chad Gable with him to conduct the large test on Ezekiel. Ezekiel joined him in the ring before the test started. Gable asked him some baseline questions before they really got going, asking if his name was really Ezekiel. Gable confirmed that Ezekiel was telling the truth and that he said he was indeed Elias's brother, and Owens was freaking out. KO kicked Gable out the ring before Ezekiel said that he was sick of being called a liar before Owens walked out last week, but this time Chad Gable came and attacked Elias's brother from behind, that led to Ezekiel versus Chad Gable. And the match began during the commercials and we returned to see Ezekiel in control. The match went outside early on and Gable took a big suplex on steel sets. Back in the ring, Gable went for a moonsault before Ezekiel got a spine buster and locked in the hole, but Otis came and attacked him, ending the match in a DQ. All of this stuff was really pretty poor, to be honest, but I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, just solely because of Kevin Owens. He's just so good, but give Kevin Owens best material, please. Before we got RK Bro versus Street Profits, Orton and Dawkins kicked off the match, and the Viper got some big moves in early on. Riddle came in with a dive and got a near fall before Montez stuck in and took him down with a tackle. Riddle then went forward on the ropes and managed to drop him on the mat before he headed to a break. Back on the Raw, Riddle and Orton got tapped in dropping DDTs before the original Bro tagged back in to finish the match. The Usos' entrance music started playing as it distracted RK Bro, letting Montez kick off the apron before the Profits got the double team finisher on Riddle to pick up the victory. I mean, like the match was decent, but I just feel like we've seen all of this Bro Street Profit stuff just so many times. It's getting a bit tiresome now, and the Usos interfering. Yeah, we're kind of used to that too now. So yeah, on the whole, I'm probably only going to give this a 6 out of 10. Before Edge and Damian Priest were out next and cut a promo about the business and the fans having no respect for superstars like them to put in hard work. Edge said that he wanted to ruin AJ Styles' life, and AJ was in the backstage interview, and the lights went out. The black and purple lights turned on after a few seconds. We saw Edge and Priest attack Styles and take him out in confusion. Before we got Finn Balor versus Austin Theory. Balor got some big moves early on, but Theory managed to take him down for a near fall before locking in the headlock. He hit a big neck breaker off the apron, and before he headed for a break. Back on Raw, Balor was back in control and got a stomp before getting a DDT and a powerbomb off a counter near fall. Theory got a top rate Spanish fly before he was sent outside for a big dive from Balor. Back in the ring, Theory dodged the coup de grace before getting the A-Tron down to become the new champ. After a match, a bunch of superstars, including Alpha Academy, Hurt Business, and Commander Aziz, joined Theory in the title celebration. Vince McMahon walked out as well, and Theory walked out to take a selfie with his new title. I mean, this was, the whole post-match stuff was very weird, except for the selfie with Vince. That made sense. But on the whole, the match was decent, quite a dominant win for Theory. But yeah, I get 7 out of 10. They'll probably do more with the belt with Theory on it. But yeah, I kind of do feel a bit for Finn. Then time for the double wedding, or rather commitment ceremony, hosted by R-Truth. Tozawa and Reggie were in the ring with Truth before Tamina and Dana joined, and the vows were being read, and Tamina and Tozawa decided to just go with whatever vows the other said by saying what they said. Truth then went through with the rest of the ceremony, and Reggie was about to kiss the bride before Brooke instead. Tamina went after Reggie and wiped him out before picking up the title. Tozawa snuck up before Tamina and pinned her before Brooke came back and pinned Tozawa, taking back her title. Brooke ran backstage with R-Truth before Raw continued. I'm just not going to comment. MVP was backstage and told Bobby Lashley that the Almighty made a big mistake by refusing to share the limelight with him. He challenged Lashley to an arm wrestling match on behalf of Omos. Lashley accepted the challenge for next week as Raw continued before Seth Rollins' special opponent was revealed to be Seth Rollins' best friend Kevin Owens. That's the sort of thing apparently. Owens had control of the match early on but was sent outside. Owens counter dive through the ropes before dropping Rhodes on the barricade before he headed for another break. Back on Raw, Owens got a second big suplex before Rhodes countered the second one. KO got a DDT, but his following senton was met Rollins' knee. Cody Rhodes tackled Kevin Owens over the announce best before Rollins walked out to watch the match. Back on Raw after a break, Rhodes kicked out of a frog splash and a senton before getting a massive area. Owens got the pop-out powerbomb for a near fall before he was tossed outside after getting a suplex in. Rollins was taunting Owens, telling him to get back into the ring, called him fat. KO got annoyed and left the match, letting Rhodes pick out the win by a counter. And after the match, Cody was on the road celebrating when Seth Rollins came in and dropped him outside as Raw went off the air. I mean, this was okay. I mean, it's still just such a buzz seeing Cody in a WWE ring, so kind of all Cody stuff gets a free pass. But it got a decent match. It was obviously not going to go to a finish here. It kind of felt like that from the outset. But for what it was alright. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Overall, Raw gets a 6.5 out of 10 from me. I mean, I was torn between a 6 and a 7 out of 10. I mean, there were some really good bits on there that deserve a 7, but, there's typical Raw stuff, just kind of bring it down to a 6. But I do feel like it's better than the average Raw. I don't normally get a 6 out of 10. So, I'll give it 6.5 out of 10, if that kind of makes sense. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. To like, share, subscribe, don't thoughts, comments, down below. Find out the link description for daily wrestling news. Subscribe to my channel on screen, and that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.